What's happening, guys? Welcome back. This is going to be just a really short video just to show you guys just the process I go through and just changing my oil. And today I'm going to be changing the manual transmission and differential oil as well. As you can see, I use nothing but the best. I use Amsoil 550 for my motor oil. And I use an Amsoil filter, which filters down to 20 microns, so it gets like all the fine stuff. And I use Amsoil Severe Gear 7590. So, and the reason why some of you are asking why I use 550, I use 550 because obviously my motor is built. This car makes 840 at the wheels at 38 psi, and especially in the hotter weather, especially also with the turbo, it makes everything so hot. That's why I can't even drive this car on a summer day at all. It's just not good. I have to wait until it's at, like in the 50s where I could comfortably drive this car. Like if I take this to the gym, it'll be like early in the morning. And then, you know, when I'm coming back, even if it's in the 60s, that's still fine. But I'm telling you, the IATs get up pretty high just because the amount of heat. And obviously, you know, I mean, I have reverse scoop hood, I have fender vents, the whole nine, just to extract more air because of all that heat. So pretty much that's the reason why I use 550 oil. For a lot of people who don't know what the numbers mean, 5W, the W stands for winter. So that's the viscosity of the oil in the cold, where it can freeze down and flow at a lower temperature. Okay? The 50, that's the viscosity or thickness of the oil when it's hot. Okay, so I need a slightly bit more thicker oil, especially for this motor. Okay, so like say 530 or 1030, the only difference is the 5 and the 10. One can flow better in colder temperatures, one can flow less better in the colder temperatures, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much for the, you know, I know a lot of you guys, STI guys, WRX guys, you guys know how to change your own oil, stuff like that, after you take off the skid plate. But with mine, I also have an IAG pan and so forth. But with the manual trans, you're going to need a T70 torque socket, and you're going to need a 10 mil hex socket. The 10 mil hex socket is going to be for the transmission fill and drain. The T70, that is for the differential. Okay, if I have, hopefully I should have another pack of this, the 7590. If I do have it, I'll be able to change the rear as well, because I don't think it does. I don't think the rear takes that much. Okay, so just food for thought, guys. This is the kind of tools that you're going to need. As I said, this is going to be short. This is not going to be like one of my super crazy tutorials or anything like that. Okay, so there we go. All right, guys, once you take off the skid plate, so I have the IAG oil pan right here that also takes a 10 millimeter hex socket. Okay, and as you can see, my motor is built, everything is still in good condition, no leaks. And as we go back here, we got the T70 torque socket right here for the front diff, and then we have the drain bolt right here. That's a 10 mil hex socket, that's for the manual. And then we got the fill bolt over here. Everything is pretty clean, man, pretty damn clean. But guys, I take really good care of this car. I don't beat on it, I don't do any of that nonsense. Like really good care of this car. Also inside my manual, I have the IAG PPG 1 through 4. Those are the straight cut door gears, and 5th and 6th are Legacy GT Spec B. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, since this is all the way back here, I'm going to do the diff and the trans first. Guys, and just remember, take off your fill bolt first, because guess what? Imagine you freaking take off your drain bolts and you drain all the fluid and can't get your fill bolt off, then you're going to be shit out of luck. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. All right, guys, just remember, if you're doing this for the first time, it takes definitely, if it comes from the factory, it'll probably take a considerable amount of force to open this. The torque spec, I think for this at the end, I'll go over it, but I think this is around 70 Newton meters, or around like 52 pound-feet, I think. But as I said before, you definitely want to get your fill plug off first. This was easy. Okay. Put that aside. Here we go with the drain plugs. Hopefully shit don't splash on me. Man, definitely needed to be changed. You could tell from the consistency of the oil. Definitely, it's not that golden color, which I expected. Okay, because this is the first time I'm changing it since I had the transmission and stuff done. And I'm pretty sure there's some little metal filings and stuff like that from breaking it in. So food for thought, guys. These gaskets are replaceable. They need to be changed, but these are actually in really good condition because they were changed when Prime did the swap of the inside of the transmission. Okay, so that's why the gaskets, if I'm looking at it, and it's actually in really, really good condition. So I'm not going to change them. Okay, and for the most part, most times you can reuse them if they're in really good condition. Also, guys, you have to remember, it took me this long to change this because, like, almost, it's over a year because I rarely drive the car. You know what I'm saying? This is like a leisure thing for me. You know, now and then I'll get on it and whatnot, but this is like very, very, very leisure for me. So that's the reason why it took me this long to change it. So guys, you're gonna have to forgive me. I'm literally doing this on my phone. My GoPro is upstairs. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. My kids are sleeping. I was like, I couldn't find it. I was like, you know what? Let me just do this real quick. It's like super early and it's cold. It's crazy how this weather is so strange. Because it's like in the 50s right now. I have a sweatshirt on in the middle of the freaking summer. Okay, so I actually took out the plug for the differential as well. So I'm gonna let that drain. Let me get some paper towel, get some brake cleaner, clean all the surrounding surfaces up, and I'll be back. All right, guys, I just put on the plug for the differential and torqued it to 70 Newton meters, or it's like 52 to 53 pounds, somewhere right around there. I'm still letting the trans drain, okay? I'm letting it drain as completely as I can, okay? And guys, I will tell you this: make sure you're cleaning those drain plugs, because let me tell you, let me show you, I had considerable filings on that plug that I had to clean off. Okay, so make sure you guys are cleaning this stuff down properly. Okay, so in the meantime, while this is draining, I'm gonna spray this down with some brake cleaner and clean this bad boy up. All right, guys, so I'm adding gear oil right now, and this is one of the cool things about the Amsoil gear oil packs that you can get. They can be angled. Look at that. It can literally be angled up there. I don't need a pump or anything like that. Now, guys, if you have like an OEM setup, to the top of the transmission behind the intercooler, there's a dummy plug up there. And that dummy plug, you can open it, put a funnel, and freaking add oil until, you know, you start seeing oil coming out of the fill plug. You know what I mean? But this is how this setup is freaking cool right here. This setup right there. It's freaking awesome. Alright, guys, I want to show you something real quick. I'm going to wipe this up real quick and watch. You'll see it start trickling out of the, yep, there it goes. Starts trickling out of the fill plug. It took a little over 4 quarts, and pretty much your job once you drain this is to fill that hole, fill the stuff in there until it starts coming out of that fill plug. And then once you button it back up, torque it to 36 pound-feet, and you're straight. All right, guys, so I'm draining the oil right now, and the filter, the transmission, and the front diff is already finished. Guys, by the way, I had called IAG a while ago, and I got the torque specs from them. The drain plug for this oil fan, for this IAG oil pan, is about 33 pound-feet, okay? And the drain plug for the transmission is 33. The fill plug, she said it was 36. So so far, you know, I mean, it's not much different because I did 36 for both the drain and fill plug, and this is going to be 33. So the 3 foot-pounds, it's like really negligible, to tell you the truth. And I'm about to take out and change this filter. I hate this damn OEM Subaru filter. It's so trash. All right, guys, the new filter is on. Drain plug is torqued to 33 foot-pounds. Now, guys, again, I've done all changes before on this channel. Guys, you don't need to freaking tighten this down with like a tool or something like that. Hand tighten a quarter turn. You know what I'm saying? Once this car starts and that gasket freaking gets that heat on the mounting plate, it's gonna freaking swell and seal the filter and tighten it even more. And also, the most important thing, make sure the gasket is left back on the stock filter when you take it off, because you don't want that gasket or the O-ring on the mounting plate where the new filter is, because if you're not paying attention, you're gonna have a really, really bad day. All right, so what I'm gonna do now, guys, everything is buttoned up and torqued down under here. So now I'm gonna put the skid plate back and then add oil. And what I'm gonna do is, once I add oil, I gotta take it down from these from this ramp contraption, and then I'll be able to check it on flat ground, like totally flat. All right, guys, so now we're at the rear differential, and this is actually pretty easy. You have your fill plug and you have your drain plug right here. The fill plug has a temperature sensor attached to it. Okay, so all you got to do is press the clip and just pull it off. Now, hopefully you got some tools, because you're going to need a pretty big socket. Okay, you're going to need a 24 mil socket. Okay, and I'll show you. It fits perfectly, and you know, you're going to need a 1/2 inch drive to get this bad boy off. Now, once you take this off, break this one right here, let it drain. This, I think it takes like about a quart of GL5, all right, or 7590. All right, so let me just do that real quick. All right, guys, as I told you before, make sure you loosen the top before you start doing anything with the bottom. This actually looks pretty damn clean. Now, this car only has original miles, just a tad over 18,000, guys. So believe me when I tell you, this car hardly has any type of miles on it. So I'm just doing this because I'm just like OCD, and because I'm doing the front, because I had the transmission and stuff, all that stuff is done. So, but fluid is not too bad, but you know what I mean, it's not, you know what I mean, it's all good. The gasket looks like it's in pretty good condition. And as I said, guys, this takes about a quart. Okay, so I'm gonna let this drain, fill it up, and I'll be able to get a torque wrench under here, because I actually used my torque wrench, because it's a 1/2 inch and I have some deep sockets, so I actually loosened the top and the bottom. But as I said before, make sure you get this one off before you start draining stuff, you know what I'm saying? Otherwise you're gonna have some freaking problems. All right, guys, I gotta start filling up the rear diff. I actually have this suction pump right here. The differential, it's I could get a pack in there and angle it, but it's just gonna take long, so this is gonna be a lot quicker. I'm gonna link this in the description for you guys in case you guys want to use something like that. All right, guys, so I just finished adding. Mine took a little bit more than a quart because I let it drain for quite a while. Okay, and now all I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna plug it back, torque both of them to 35 foot-pounds, and plug the sensor back in, and we're straight. All right, guys, just finished up. Took me a little while because after I finished with the oil change, I ended up burping my coolant system because I saw like a tiny little bubble in my sight glass over here, and of course I'm freaking OCD, so I had to get that out. So just wanted to just recap. So we did today the oil change with 550 full synthetic oil from Amsoil, the filter, the front differential, manual transmission, and the rear differential as well. Just take note, guys, as we went along, I told you guys the torque specs, so please don't forget it. I added 5 quarts of oil. Now, guys, remember, I have a bigger pan, plus I have a 25-row oil cooler. So I have to still add about another 1/2 quart in there, okay? So, guys, again, this is just a quick DIY for the oil change and pretty much all the fluids. So I don't have to change this again till God knows when. But I would want to tell you something. Even though my oil was still good, okay, because I run Amsoil like in my truck 10,000 miles easy, in my wife's minivan 8,000 miles. I only have about 1,000 miles on this actual motor. So my motor is fully built, the transmission is fully built, all of that stuff. And the oil was changed. The thing is, the reason why I changed the oil was because it's been over a year, even though I didn't put that much miles. Remember, I run ethanol pretty much close to damn near all year, and then I blend it in the winter. But remember, you guys have to remember when ethanol sits, it can get, you know what I mean? So I try to run this car at least every week, but still, it can be very corrosive. So that's the reason why, and being corrosive, it can dilute oil. Even though it doesn't matter if your oil is the best oil, there will be some type of dilution. So anyway, and that's the reason why I ended up changing it. So guys, definitely like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take it easy.